And this election result has made people around the world see that in the end the people of Taiwan prefer the country to engage in trade with many different countries worldwide rather than solely relying on the Chinese market for its economy. I have mentioned in many videos before that China's economy, due to the wolf warrior diplomacy and Xi Jinping's continuous expansion of the anti-espionage law for power consolidation, has led to many foreign companies and investigative firms fleeing from China. Many foreign enterprises have already begun shifting their supply chains to Southeast Asia, India, Central South America, and other places. So if certain politicians continue to suggest for Taiwan's economy to unilaterally lean towards China at this time, they are truly acting as mere lobbyists speaking on behalf of China. Hi everyone, this is Stan, your favorite Polish Taiwan YouTuber. Hope you're all having a great day. Welcome to today's show. Do you guys know, according to the latest statistics, the proportion of Taiwan's exports to China has decreased to 35% in 2023, making it the lowest level in 21 years. You see, although Taiwan is slowly decoupling from Chinese market following the lead of European and American countries, it has simultaneously maintained a certain level of economic growth. The decrease in the proportion of trade with China has not adversely affected Taiwan's economic growth, nor has it been impacted by internal economic pressures, high unemployment rates, or issues such as the collapse of the real estate market in China. Therefore, this news serves as a perfect rebuttal to previous claims made by the CCP sympathizers, pro-China politicians on various platforms spreading rumors that Taiwan is heavily reliant on the Chinese market, asserting that Taiwan's exports to China account for 40%. That's even more interesting in comparing the economic growth rates of the four Asian tigers in 2023. Taiwan recorded a growth rate of 1.42%, South Korea 1.4%, and Singapore 1%. The most intriguing is Hong Kong, with an apparent growth rate of 3.2% in 2023. However, this figure is deceptive because Hong Kong experienced negative growth of 3.5% in 2022. Normally, for 2023 to be considered at least on par with Taiwan, South Korea, and Singapore, the economic growth rate should be between 5.5 and 4.5%. This once again illustrates that Hong Kong's economy has been severely impacted by the policies of the Chinese government. Moreover, Taiwan has managed to avoid such repercussions despite its proximity to China. This success can be attributed to the significant progress in trade relations with allied nations and other countries over the past few years. For example, Taiwan's exports to the United States and European markets have reached all-time highs. The new Southbound Policy has also played a crucial role in helping Taiwan diversify its markets, with the total trade volume between Taiwan and new southbound countries increasing from $9.8 billion in 2016 to $180.3 billion in 2022, marking 88.2% growth. This growth rate surpasses Taiwan's overall global trade growth, and it exceeds its trade growth with China. So, Taiwan is gradually breaking free from the constraints of the Chinese market. Despite the challenges posed by the pandemic in recent years and the subsequent invasion in Ukraine, which has exerted significant inflationary pressure worldwide, Taiwan hasn't experienced domestic price growth and inflation on the level of its Western allies. Even in an environment characterized by high inflation, soaring prices, and increased shipping costs globally, Taiwan's internal prices are rising relatively slowly compared to the other countries. Unlike, for example, the doubling or tripling of prices for some products in Europe, Taiwan's prices and actual purchasing power of its people are essentially on a very stable path. Understanding this truth reveals that Taiwan's prices and the real purchasing power of its people are in fact moving along a very steady trajectory. Simultaneously, in recent years, China's arbitrary cancellation of Taiwan's agricultural exports to China has spurred Taiwan's agricultural products to seek markets beyond China. For example, after being blocked by the Chinese government, Taiwanese pineapple exports to Japan increased, not only fetching higher prices but also achieving more stable sales volumes than before. This not only helps Taiwan's agricultural products break free from the economic influence of China, but also reduces the availability of commodity that the Chinese Communist Party could potentially use for political leverage. At the same time, gradually abandoning the Chinese market also ensures that Taiwan's painstakingly developed agricultural products are not subject to theft. For instance, in April 2023, there were reports of China once again stealing the agricultural technology of some Taiwanese fruits, such as mango pineapples. Well, mango pineapple is a unique variety of a pineapple cultivated in Taiwan. An unnamed exporter pointed out that the failure to remove the crown shoots when exporting Taiwanese pineapples was a loophole that led to the outflow of pineapple varieties. Even if certain varieties of pineapples are not directly sold to China, asexual reproduction of pineapples, as long as they have crown shoots, allows for propagation. Individuals with some malicious motives can export them to other countries and then reroute them to China, making it not difficult to obtain seedings through such channels. Even The Economist has an article on it. China's blocking of Taiwan's agricultural products as mango pineapples export, and at the same time stealing the seeds and methods of cultivation, is another way of gray zone warfare targeting Taiwan. So why is it that exporting pineapples to Japan doesn't result in theft of agricultural technology, but it does happen in China? And why is it China that consistently engages in such theft? The news of the theft of over 20 years of hard work in cultivating pineapple varieties is deeply disheartening for members of the Agricultural Research Institute of Taiwan's Council of Agriculture, as the mango pineapple variety was developed in 1990s through artificial cross-pollination. China, lacking integrity, ethics and creativity, can disrupt Taiwan's 20 years of pineapple cultivation with minimal cost, dumping the market with cheap Chinese mango pineapples. Hu Zhongyi, the Director General of the Agriculture and Food Agency, stated that Japan is currently the largest export market for Taiwan's pineapples, and the fruits have obtained variety protection rights in Japan. So to safeguard Taiwan's product rights, Taiwan can even argue that China should not export mango pineapples to Japan. Furthermore, Taiwan's Council of Agriculture continues to expand pineapple exports to Japan. And this election results has made people around the world see that, in the end, that people of Taiwan prefer the country to engage in trade with many different countries worldwide, rather than solely relying on the Chinese market for its economy. I have mentioned in many videos before that China's economy, due to the wolf warrior diplomacy and Xi Jinping's continuous expansion of the anti-espionage law for power consolidation, has led to many foreign companies and investigative firms fleeing from China. Many foreign enterprises have already begun shifting their supply chains to Southeast Asia, India, Central South America, and other places. So if certain politicians continue to suggest for Taiwan's economy to unilaterally lean towards China at this time, they are truly acting as mere lobbyists speaking on behalf of China. And their motivation, of course, doesn't consider the benefit of the entire population of Taiwan. They are rather acting in their personal interests by cooperating with the Chinese Communist Party. Before Russia's full-scale invasion in Ukraine, Ukraine's economy was heavily reliant on Russia. Many Ukrainians at that time believed that as long as they did not provoke Russia, they could live a stable life with the understanding that economic matters were separate from the political issues. However, the result of excessive economic dependence on Russia was a miscalculation on Russia's part, leading to a military invasion of Ukraine that they thought would be a walk in the park. After detaching from Russia and decoupling from Russia, Ukraine gained more opportunities to engage with Europe and the United States. This time, the world also came to realize that the appeasement policies of the past 30 years would not make dictators abandon their intentions of expansion and aggression, nor would they automatically transform into democratic countries because of national finances and economic growth. Additionally, Lithuania, due to its refusal to bow to the Chinese Communist Party, gained more business cooperation opportunities with Taiwan. While pragmatic economic and trade exchanges will never match the rapid profitability of deliberately investing money into dictatorships such as China, having shared values such as respect for intellectual property rights, emphasis on democratic freedoms, and cautious approach to authoritarianism is a long-term and secure development path for a country. After Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the European Union gradually began to decouple from Russia's energy sources and started importing natural gas and energy from the United States and the Middle East. Although there was initially a surge in prices in Europe, it is gradually stabilizing, and currently Europe is gaining greater national security assurances. While dealing with Russia or depending on the Chinese market may bring short-term benefits and convenience, behind the provision of these advantages is the reality of allowing Russia to expand its influence in Europe, or to allow China to do the same thing. But still, after we overcome the initial pain of decoupling, better protection for intellectual property rights, and the stable development of enterprises in the EU countries is what we will get. And I hope that Taiwan also understands that, so let's stay away from the dictatorships. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please press like, subscribe and share. This is Stan, I see you in the next one. Bye bye.